Hello and welcome to another episode of Red Shark News. My name is Arthur Ditner, and today we're going to continue to explore some of the new tools offered in DaVinci Resolve 16. Optical Flow is a great way to smooth out footage in slow motion. It works by temporal estimation. Resolve looks at neighboring frames and makes its best guess as to what additional frames of video would look like. Let's revisit our bike footage for a moment. I want to add a little bit more hang time on this jump and return to normal speed for the subsequent jump. Place the playhead where we want the slow motion to start. Right-click and select Split. Approximate how long we want the slow motion to run, and split the clip again. We can reveal all kinds of parameters to modify by clicking on the new Inspector belt underneath the program monitor. This is the speed adjustments page. To slow down a clip, highlight in the timeline the clip we want to modify, and enter the value on the belt. In this case, 0.2 for 20% speed. By default, Resolve will hold frames to achieve slow motion. It looks okay, but the motion is choppy. To enable optical flow on this clip, we'll need to step into the edit page. Just a friendly reminder that the cut and edit page work on the same timeline. I'm still looking at my bike footage over here on the edit page, and I can freely switch between the pages as I please. In the edit page, make sure you have the slow motion clip selected in the timeline. Open the inspector and scroll down to Retime in Process and select Optical Flow. Let's take a look at the results. Looks good. Now I should point out that not all transformations with optical flow work as nice as they did in this demo. I intentionally used a shot that I knew would work well. The temporal morphing works well with basic objects that are clearly in frame without drastic movement. Take a look at this clip with optical flow applied to a greater range of motion. You can see the bike's tires, the ground, they're all a bit murky. It gets clearer as the motion becomes simpler and distorts again upon impact. So optical flow doesn't always work, but it's a great tool to have in your back pocket. I want to show everyone a few more things we can do in the inspector in the cut and edit pages. Resolve is a full-blown color and compositing suite, but there is a lot you can achieve with just the basic editing tools. I made this custom thumbnail to use for the YouTube video we made in the previous video. Custom thumbnails are a good way to attract viewers to your channel. We're going to start by making a new timeline. Something important to note. Timelines in Resolve 16 can now be any standard frame rate, independent from the project. This is a 23976 project, but the bike footage is 2997. I can now cut the bike footage in a 2997 timeline in a 23976 project, which previously could not be done in earlier versions of the software. I'm going to start with this bokeh background. It's a stock photo from my own library. Cut that in. I'll load up one of these stunt clips and scrub where I want my keyframe. Mark an endpoint, and click Place on Top on the editing toolbar. The bike clip gets placed on a layer above the background, in this case, V2. Open up the inspector belt here and we can start to modify things. Clicking and dragging the mouse on these variables will scale the image, or I can click and drag the transform frame inside the program window. There are crop tools available as well with feathering. Clicking and dragging to tighten up on my framing. Lastly, we can apply composite blend modes. I'm going to select darker color to better blend my image into the background. There are two different kinds of titles in Resolve. Standard titles, as noted by this little T icon, and fusion titles, noted by the lightning icon. Standard titles are 2D and offer a good range of options. Fusion titles are often rendered in 3D and feature dynamic lighting in real depth. I want to extrude these letters, so I'm going to use the Fusion template 3D title Dramatic Mood. Fusion titles need to be edited in the inspector on the edit page, so we'll step over there. Type in my text, in this case, biking Toronto parks. I can adjust the extrusion and bevel parameters, and these control how deep my 3D letters are. I can change the font and light colors. In this case, I want to blow out the text with some white light and get the letters as bright as possible. By adjusting the X, Y, and Z rotation here, we are adjusting how the light is being projected onto the letters. I want a bright spotlight that's going to blow things out. The backlight controls the red shadow along the bottom of these letters. I like that look a lot. I can control the source of the backlight here. Once text and design is locked, step over to the Video tab within the inspector, and we can modify things like scale and position. By unlocking the scale link, I can make the text a little taller without affecting width. And with 3 simple layers, I can create an attractive looking thumbnail for my YouTube page using 3D text and inspector controls. The perspective camera stabilizer that was introduced in Resolve 14 is now available in both the edit and cut pages. Let's take a look. I've got this handheld DSLR shot. We can see there's a little bit too much shake on the side of these walls here. I want to clean that up. By opening our inspector belt and stepping over to the camera stabilization page, we can choose Stabilize Perspective. Resolve will automatically analyze the shot and apply a stabilize with a mild zoom in. Take a look at the results. Much more fluid. We still get a bit of that handheld movement, but things are definitely not as janky or as drastic. If the perspective algorithm doesn't work for you, there are other modes, similarity and translation, which yield different results. Previously, the camera stabilizer was only available in the color page. On this second shot here in my DSLR horror flick, I've got some flickering fluorescent lights. By searching my video filters here, I am going to type the word flicker. I've got 2 options. I've got deflicker and I've got flicker addition. We can solve this problem 2 different ways. I could go to the previous shot and add flicker so that my strobing lights are a consistent theme throughout my movie. Opening up the OFX tab here, I can get a pop-out inspector where I can control the rate of the flicker, the speed of the flicker, the range, and other parameters. While this was fun and looks cool, it's really not what I was looking to do. I wanted to repair the flickering lights in the subsequent shot. By adding the deflicker plugin, I can clean up those mistimed fluorescent lights. The deflicker plugin is a great segue to mention that the studio version of Resolve has great plugins and great tools. With a simple drag and drop of the deflicker plugin, my footage has been repaired. The results are very strong, and you can see there's no more flickering happening on the concrete wall in the background, albeit I'm stuck with a watermark. We've been using the free version up until this point, but you can upgrade to the studio version for the price of $299 US. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed exploring some of the new features with me found in Resolve 16.